Welcome to Pressplay, Chitresh.
Hi, Vinit. Thanks a lot for having me.
Awesome. Disclaimer before we jump in, I have invested in Baaz and I'm personally excited about the possibilities of the live video commerce space. So, why don't we start, Chitresh, by you introducing yourself to the audience?
Sure. Thanks a lot for being part of our journey, Vinit. Yeah. So I'm Chitresh. I'm founder and CEO at Baaz. Um, um, we we as a business have been working in the e-commerce domain for quite some time, and we realized that e-commerce as we know it, it's still stuck up in the 2004 era and before. It's fairly boring, it's fairly old, and it's very transactional. It lacks the pure emotion that you have in an offline world when you're shopping. And that's what we believe is a fundamental issue with the e-commerce world today. We believe that e-commerce could also have a lots and lots of elements that we have in a offline world, like discoverability, right? Like actually establishing trust with the person who's selling the products, and those sort of themes around it. So what we believe is that the solution to this issue is to merge e-commerce with interactive storytelling, right? Which has a lot of dependency, or which opens doors for discoverability, which opens doors for establishing more trust and emotion between the seller and the buyer, as opposed to making it more transaction. So in a nutshell, what we are doing is we are helping e-commerce merchants around the world transform their traditional e-commerce stores into interactive ones, using our SaaS tool. So that's basically what we do.
Nice. And I love the comment around the emotion which is lacking today when you try and purchase something online. So it seems to be a natural fit and a natural
Hmm,
progression.
hmm.
But what was the inspiration for you to start this company? How did you start?
Yeah. So the inspiration was that right around the time of 2019 late, I was on the close to getting married, and my to be wife at that time was looking for buying something for herself, for like a lady's gown or something like that. And we were living in Bangalore, and the store that she liked was in Bombay. And because obviously we couldn't go there, and there was a lot of COVID conversations happening, so she ended up getting a request from them that, why don't you join us on a WhatsApp video call. And we did that. She did that, and then the whole experience started, and then they started showing products inside their store, and went through the whole discovery process. She was asking essentially questions like, okay, not this one, I want that one, can you show me that one. That sort of conversational experience that happens in an offline world. She could do that. But what happened afterward was where I got really concerned and not very comfortable around. That the way they asked us to shop was that they will send us a payment link for whichever products we liked. So they kept that aside, and they sent us a payment link. We had to make the payment. Then they will figure out how to ship the product. And there was information asymmetry in between. The entire experience was not cohesive. So what I thought at that time was, what if like video call itself could have shoppings enabled on top of it? And that's where the idea basically originated, and that's when we decided to build Buzz.
Nice, nice, interesting story. And what are some of the challenges you have faced in your journey so far, and how have you overcome those hurdles?
Yeah, so I think like the first and the most early stage challenges that we faced while building bars was people started expecting the businesses that we are pitching to. They started expecting us to be like a very existing kind of a e-commerce player, where we will get them audiences, and and just because of live video, things will magically start becoming better for them, or something in those lines, right? And it was super hard to convince them that live video. it was super hard. It was super hard to convince them that live video could actually help a business to sell better, right? And not have dependency on how many people can be marketed to, etc., etc. So convincing people about this new concept itself was hard. The second confusion that used to happen a lot was people would think that this is just a live video and there's no actual shopping happening on it, right? So they will think that okay, once the video is over, then we will send the payment link. So they realize that how is it anyway different from what we are doing with Zoom, or what we are doing with Google Meet or WhatsApp video call. Then we had to literally sit them down and explain like how the experience was. So it took a little bit of its own sweet time to get people abreast with what the concept was and how it would benefit them. And some people also on the other side came up to us and said, okay, we already know how this works and we would like to apply this into our selling strategy. So 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 we found both sides of people. The third challenge that we faced, which we felt very strongly about and did something later on, was the quality of content creation mattered way more than we thought. So earlier we thought that we could be technology provider and give hand over the technology to the merchants and they will create like these fantastic content, and things will work out. But as we know it, not everybody is a great content creator in front of a video. It takes its own sweet learning curve, and people are not well equipped to do that right from the get go. So that is one of the learnings that we got. We realized that it's not for everybody. It may have its own learning cycle, and yeah. So these were like some of the biggest challenges that we faced early on.
Thank you for sharing that. And then in terms of your product roadmap, I mean, I've seen it closely. I've seen it evolve over the last few months. It would be great if you can share some highlights on the product journey and how that has evolved.
Yeah, yeah. So I think like if we look at it from the early days, I think we were just going after this one segment of merchants who could broadcast a video content, and that could be telecasted to n number of people. Similar sort of interface like Instagram Live, imagine, but with shopping added on top of that layer, right? And that was the only offering that we had initially. And we did that we did a lot of customer testing, feedbacking, ruled it off to a lot more other merchants, collected their feedback, improvised back and forth. So we did that roughly for about 9 to 10 months, easily. And then we realized that we realized the sweet spots around it, what would work and what wouldn't, and then we sort of made an advanced version out of it.
Chitresh, what is your product roadmap? And it would be great if you can share some highlights on the product journey and how it has evolved over time.
Yeah, yeah. So I think I'll start with the product journey and how it has evolved. So initially we were going after this one type of segment where a merchant or anybody they hire to do the content could host a content, and it could be broadcasted to a number of people, and there could be interest and purchases happening from any of the audiences that ended up joining that live session or that live event. And that helped us to gain a lot of customer feedbacks and improve the product for roughly around 8 to 9 months. And then we realized that we had to remove all the elements that didn't work and productize it, or package it in some way that most of the elements that were working for the merchants. So we did that, and then we launched another offering of ours, which was more into one-to-one segment. And that's been the journey since the time we started working on this. uh, Now it has sort of morphed into a lot more advanced version of interactivity, where things like uh, uh, a group calling can be done using our tech. Things like gamification on top of live videos can be done using our tech. Flash sales, as an example, could be done using our tech. and host of other interactive elements we are bringing on board as the time in the next few quarters. So that's basically been the journey so far on the product front and where we are headed.
Nice, nice. And who are some of your key team members? What kind of people are you looking to have on your team?
Yeah, sure. So I think me and my partner Ruben. Ruben comes from more of an academia background. He has undergraduated from Anna University, went on to do his masters in University of Texas, worked in Chicago for a bit, and came back to India, and that's when we started to work together. So he takes care of our entire tech. So he's a more of the R&D brains and the tech brain behind what we are doing. And then we have Shobit, who's the director of engineering. He comes from the solid background of video tech, having worked at Byju's, right at the forefront, literally seeing the evolutions of early 100 students at Byju's to now seeing about 45 million plus students at Byju's. So he has worked at the forefront of video and interactivity, right, for the last 6 to 7 years. And so he takes care of our engineering bit. And then we have Akhilesh, who has undergraduated from India, then went on to do masters in Singapore in SMU, worked with Citibank, Samsung, Singtel, Airtel, some of these companies as a data science capacity. So he's taking care of our data science at Baaz. So we believe like these are some of the key people that are driving what we are doing, and building some of the cutting edge tech elements that are involved, which are super hard for merchants to build it themselves. So we're bundling this together and giving it over to these merchants so that they can have access to a much better tool that can allow them to add interactivity as opposed to worrying about the costs that are involved and things like that. So in an essence, what we are doing with the help of our team is build this extremely expensive tool, which a bigger e-commerce company would be able to afford, right? And bringing it down in a very simple and a compact format down to the mid-level market of the world, right? A Shopify store could literally just click a button and enable interactive shopping on top of their website. A WooCommerce could do equally the same thing. Wix Commerce could do the same thing, and similarly, any other e-commerce platform that exists in the world could just do that seamlessly without them having to worry about the tech. So we have this solid tech spine in the team of the company, and we going forward, we are also looking forward to more and more really high quality tech people to join us on the team, and if they are interested to work at the cutting edge of video tech and e-commerce sort of amalgamation or concoction. This would be a really good environment for them to get nurtured on, or take something back from. So that's basically what we are looking for, and we have a bunch of openings in the non-tech as well, where they could work on the customer acquisitions or marketing or growth and that kind of stuff.
Nice. Thanks for sharing those details. And on a parting note, we want to keep these podcasts short. And
Yeah,
a lot of the information that you've shared is very, very useful, very exciting. I think as you said, you are the cutting edge of three pillars, video tech and e-commerce. So, in terms of your interests and hobbies and passions beyond video, uh,
yeah.
share some stuff.
Yeah, definitely. This is very central to our internal team's culture. We at the time of the interview, it is actually one of the selecting criterias in our team that we get to know what are the other things that team members are passionate about. If they had a chance to, they would just never leave that thing ever in their life, right? And we have very interesting kind of people in the team. We have stand-up comedians, we have people who like to brew beer for passion, and things like that. So I personally like to run. I'm a runner from a very long time. So after the whole pandemic began, I ended up taking a treadmill and and started doing running on that. I like
Nice,
to
nice.
read a lot. Of late, haven't been getting a lot of chances to do that. So I've started doing audiobooks, and that's coming out pretty well. I think audiobooks are a game changer. And I like to watch some nice, shows on TV. The latest one that I've seen, which I really admire and have liked a lot and recommended to everyone, is Ted Lasso on Apple TV. That's really fantastic.
Awesome.
So
That's a
yeah,
good recommendation, man. I'll check it out.
yeah, sure,
And I don't think Apple TV is very popular in India, but
yeah,
I do hear some good things about their content. So yeah, awesome, man. Thanks for sharing those details, Chitresh. Really
yeah,
appreciate it. Looking forward to catching up once the pandemic sort of goes down or eases out, and
yeah,
getting that drink together. But yeah, thanks for your time. Appreciate
yeah,
it,
yeah.
and we'll obviously stay in touch.
Absolutely. Thanks a lot, Vinny. Yeah, let's catch up sometime.